Madara. I can't remember the significance of the scroll, but I think it's got the way the means. It's got whatever the scroll contained in it. It had the means to drive. It had the means to drive Madara out of Dark Naruto. And the moment that happens, he, a change. And the moment that happens, he collapses to the ground, and Kushina and Minato turn up, and they run over to Dark Naruto's body, because at that point he starts turning into a lookalike, an exact copy of Naruto. Only this copy is obviously Menma, and Kushina and Minato realise that it's their son, and they hug him and cry and so on. But then they look back at Naruto, who's standing beside Sakura, and you can see the realisation dawning on them. So if this is their son, who's been behind everything, and he turned evil because he turned evil, it's not really clear how he turned evil, but that's why his hair was black, because he turned bad. That raises the question for them: who is this other person who seems so like their son, and yet not, standing before them? Naruto turns away because he's trying not to cry, and thanks them for being there for him, and apologises for lying all this time, and says that he's not their son. His name is not Menma. His name is Naruto. And this is not his world. He comes from another world. And it was fun, and basically it was fun, and it was happy whilst it lasted, but he's got to go now. And Minato looks very sad, and Kushina is crying upon hearing this. And I reckon that they love Naruto. Maybe they had the feeling that Naruto wasn't Menma, I don't know. But to them, however long it lasted, and even now, he's still their son, even if he is from another dimension. And it's quite a sad scene, and I was trying to hold in my tears. Trying to hold in my tears here, because it's quite a sad moment. And they go home, and they vanish again. Another thing I neglected to mention, sorry, I keep neglecting to mention lots of things. So this review's all over the place, alright? It's just to do with how from what I can remember, what happens is when Naruto decides to have fun with his parents, he opens the door, and they welcome him back, and he smiles, blinking back tears, and says, "I'm home." So that's when, and that, of course, that same night they celebrate Kushina's birthday. But anyway, they disappear, and they arrive back in the park again, where everything began, and they decide to head home. Sakura sees her parents looking around for her, and she runs up to them, starts to cry, and her parents are slightly taken aback and wonder why Sakura's so upset, but her reaction is exactly the same as the Road to Sakura's one. So I reckon that the same time that Naruto and Sakura disappeared from the alternate dimension, I think the Road to Ninja Sakura also disappeared in the episode that we saw. So it was sort of like a swap thing. So at that point, we see a flashback in the Road to Sakura episode where her memories of her parents dying, and so of course she was very happy to see her parents. And our real world Sakura is obviously happy to see her parents as well. Naruto looks on with a happy and sad smile, a smile that's yet is happy and sad at the same time. And he goes off to go back to his own house, and opens the door to expect nobody, bracing himself for the fact that his parents won't be there. Bracing himself for the fact that he was not opening the door, even though it's not it's his normal house, and it's somewhere he stayed normally. Even though it's his house that he usually stays in the real world, he's bracing himself for the fact that he won't have any parents to welcome him home. But imagine his surprise when he sees that the light is on, and then when he opens it up, he sees that Iruka is there. Iruka is there with some ramen and I think a birthday cake or something, and he welcomes Naruto home. And Naruto sheds tears, or Naruto rather tearfully thanks Iruka and says he's home. And then you see a bit later on, you see that he comes out of his his house again, and he goes off on and he leaps off to start another day. He comes in, then you see after that you see that he's after that he gets up in the morning like he usually does and ready to start training again, leaps from rooftop to rooftop like he usually does, and then throws a kunai somewhere as he passes Ichiraku. And after the credits there's a short animation, and you see that his throwing star, his shuriken, lands at the place where it says that there is no they are doing menma. So that's his big that's his way of saying, stuff you, Menma. I'm having Naruto with ramen again. I'm having Naruto with my ramen again. So the Menma thing was obviously an implication that, of course, Menma was that other world Naruto and was the villain. But they had some good fights, and there was a lot of family moments between the Uzumaki family, and there's some good development for Sakura, and we got to see all the other characters, including people like Shino, who hated bugs, and that was quite interesting to see, and like Sai, who was like painting a picture which looked like a child's picture, and nothing compared to his usual prowess. So it was a nice way of showing off all the characters and seeing other things reanimated, such as Naruto meeting Kushina and Minato in his mind, and the fight between Minato and Madara before we knew who he really was. So that was a nice treat as well. And even though we'd seen those scenes before, it was amazing to see them on the big screen. Absolutely epic. And I'm not going to forget this one in a hurry, I don't think. So it was such a good film. Apologies if this review seems very disjointed, but I was just talking about some of the scenes as I remembered them. However, that said, I'm just surprised that I managed to remember, even 2 weeks after, everything that happened. So, more or less, anyway. So it was such a fun movie experience and good film outing, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Within a heartbeat, I would see it again. So I'm definitely getting the DVD when it comes out here in Japan. So because it's the first movie I've watched that I understood without any subtitles, so I definitely want to see it. And the soundtrack was absolutely amazing. It really adds to the pure epicness of the whole thing. So I highly recommend you watch it if you're here in Japan, or if you see it subtitled when it comes out in April, May next year. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope this has given you more of an idea of what happens. But don't take my word for it. So I might have missed out a few things, or I might have not explained it properly. You know, it's all very well listening to a review, but I advise you to see the film. See it. That's the only way you'll experience it for yourself and form your own opinions. So don't count this film out yet. Don't start thinking that it's horrible and pathetic and Kishimoto was trolling you. Decide that for yourself when you see it, because it's always best to experience it firsthand rather than deciding and judging rather than deciding what you think about something before you've even done it. So that's my advice to you Naruto fans out there who want to know about Road to Ninja. Go and see it, or buy the DVD, or watch it subtitled when it comes out. And also buy the DVD if you like it that much once you've seen it subbed. Buy DVD when it comes out in your own country as well.